go. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Inspiring Connections, episode 14. Man, yeah. 14 episodes. Wow.
I know, it's awesome.
I'm Marty.
I'm Misty. Hi, everybody. Hi, Marty.
How you doing?
Good.
And we have another great show for you this week. Being that it's getting to travel season, we have a person on who is a native of Las Vegas, and we're talking about Las Vegas travel with Chris Rauschnot, who is, you may know him better as 24K on Twitter. And he also has an account, 24K Media, on Twitter as well. And Chris
and
his brother's Vegas Bill.
Yeah.
And I think his handle is
Vegas Bill.
Vegas Bill on Twitter, yeah. Since they live in Las Vegas and they travel as well, they know the inside story, inside scoop. And this is what we're going to talk about on this week's show. The inside scoop about Las Vegas. So,
yeah, so they should watch the show if they're interested in learning about tips and both for business and family travel.
Yes. So whether you're experienced or whether this is the first time, I know for first timers it can be rather intimidating and overwhelming, but as you will find out during this interview, Chris really breaks it down really nicely and we talk about some of the best hotels, all about the food in Las Vegas, which is tremendous.
The shows.
And shows are tremendous. And some other really interesting tips.
And budget saving tips.
Budget saving tips and
so
some
amazing.
Interesting tips about taxi cabs.
I know.
And I'll leave it at that, little tease. So without any further ado, let's get right into it with Chris Rauschnot, 24K on Twitter, and talking Las Vegas travel. Chris, welcome to PodJam TV Live.
Thank you so much, Misty and Marty, for having me. It was great to meet you both at the Tweet House event during CES.
Yes.
Absolutely. It was fantastic.
So those Tweet House guys are awesome.
Oh,
yes.
Definitely. I know that event was sponsored by Chevrolet, and we had a blast meeting you, and I know
the food
Calvin
was
Lee.
Great too. Well, anyway, the food in Vegas is always
food
great.
in Vegas is fantastic. So
food in Vegas is like you can start from fried items all the way up to Michelin star food. So whatever you want here.
Oh,
exactly.
It's incredible.
It's like I think when we got there, we were so hungry, we got Chinese.
I know, right?
Just that afternoon.
Right.
It's like we didn't have to travel anywhere. It's like it was authentic Chinese
Right
food.
to the hotel.
Yeah, it was really good.
So let's get right into it with Chris. Chris, first question. I don't know if there is a best time. When's the best time to travel to Vegas and why, in your opinion?
Well, the best time to travel to Las Vegas is in spring and March. Those are the most comfortable times of the year to travel here. The temperature is in the mid-70s Fahrenheit for those people in Canada and elsewhere that use the Celsius system. It's a little bit cooler, and the winds have died down during those times of year. And the lows during those times of year are 40s and 60s Fahrenheit, so it can get a little chilly.
That's very, very interesting. Plus, is the pools open by that time as well? Not yet.
They close right near when it gets to the colder times of the year, and then they open back late March, early April.
So that is the best.
But other times of the year to visit Las Vegas are during holidays, major events, sporting events like NASCAR, National Finals Rodeo, professional bull riding. There's all kinds of golf events here as well.
Oh, professional bull riding. I didn't know
and
that.
For the younger set out there, the Electric Daisy Carnival is here during June, and that's when hundreds of thousands of people come here to listen to electronic dance music and their favorite DJs from around the world.
Oh, I think I saw some clips on YouTube. They had, what's his name? I forget some of the, of course, now I'm going to blank out live, But yeah, they had that at the racetrack, Las Vegas. I saw a video on YouTube with a DJ at the Vegas NASCAR track. Is that where they have the shows?
It's held at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Awesome.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Very
and I haven't personally been, but from the video I've seen, it is incredible.
Oh yeah, it looks spectacular. I mean, I saw a video on YouTube. I mean, it looked like a million people there. It was incredible. A lot of neon, a lot of glow sticks.
Yes.
So it looked like a blast there. we've been to Vegas now 3 times. We met you on our last time down there. So I think people are familiar with the Las Vegas Strip, Las Vegas Boulevard, with all the newer hotels. And then you have a downtown Vegas, now down there, Fremont Street. Which is better? Should you stay on the Strip? Should you go up to downtown Vegas, Fremont, or off the Strip or elsewhere? Kind of what's your take on that?
Well, if you want to go to the Strip, by all means, go to the Strip. Even for locals that are watching this podcast, they maybe work on the Strip, but they never visit the Strip for fun. So my brother and I, Bill, who helped me with these answers today, thank you, Vegas Bill.
I didn't know he was your brother.
Yes.
Say I learned something new.
Yeah, I remember before we went to Vegas at that time, I was tweeting with Vegas Bill.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I didn't know that he was 24.
I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's exciting.
So if you want to go to the Strip, definitely go there. Amazing restaurants, amazing hotels, 5-star all the way. But if you want to visit off the Strip, Vegas has some amazing spots to go as well, like Lake Las Vegas. There's an actual man-made lake out there, and they have a lake cruise, and you can go out and enjoy some champagne and maybe a couple of appetizers and enjoy that. There's also Summerlin, which is an area west of Las Vegas. There's a casino hotel out there called Red Rock Casino Hotel, and it overlooks the entire Las Vegas Valley. So incredible views. And then if you're into the downtown scene, downtown Las Vegas, with one of the largest digital screens in the world, is down there. And they have all kinds of places to stay, great pricing. So usually during the winter is when you can find the best pricing downtown.
Okay. Now, that's where they have the Fremont experience? And
correct, and that is the giant screen.
That's over the street, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I have yet to get to there, so I'm dying to go at some point. So, yeah, that looks spectacular.
Okay.
Well, if you are on the Strip and you want to take a trip down there, it's easy to just get on the local bus system. Every 5 minutes at every hotel on the Strip, you can take a bus to downtown and check it out.
Oh, that's good to know.
That's a good idea. I remember we did that when we were there. At
I got used to the monorail, but not the buses. But I'll have to check the buses out next time we're in Vegas.
We have double-decker buses, like in London.
Oh,
so
wow.
Okay.
It's fun.
Excellent.
Should try that out the next
definitely.
time we go. Chris, another question is, for first-time leisure travelers, what hotels would you recommend?
Well, for leisure travelers, you might want to take a look at some of the higher-end spots, just so you can see, what you're kind of used to from larger cities. Let's say you live in Toronto. Well, you have a lot of luxury hotels there, like the Ritz-Carlton and the Four Seasons. We have those hotels here as well. We have the Four Seasons Las Vegas, Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, the Bellagio, the Palazzo, and Encore at Wynn Las Vegas. Those are all the very high-end properties that we have here on the Strip.
We stayed. I know Miss and I stayed at the Palazzo, which was incredible. And I've never been in a bigger room. I mean, just that we weren't in a suite. We were in like a normal room.
Right.
And the place had like 3 TVs. It's ridiculous.
One in the bathroom.
Oh my God!
So
it was
if you're
unbelievable.
taking your bath, you can watch the news or whatever. It was awesome.
It's fun.
Oh, absolutely. It was fantastic.
And I remember staying at the Venetian more than 10 years ago. The standard size rooms are 600 square feet plus.
Wow.
So the Palazzo is even bigger.
Yeah, it's funny because we're the closest major city to us is New York City, and they're famous for very small rooms. We've stayed at a lot of hotels in New York City.
It's like being inside a closet.
It's like in a matchbox, So you go to Vegas, and people have never been to Vegas. It's like, man, it's like these places are huge.
Huge.
I've never been in a small room in Vegas. It's incredible. It's fantastic.
And that's what the leisure traveler wants. They want to be able to relax, put their stuff, spread it out. And the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, like I mentioned, it has a kitchenette. So you can cook yourself a little meal if you want to. And they have an area outside you can watch. If you have the north-facing room, you can watch the water fountains at Bellagio.
Oh, you know what?
Oh my goodness,
it's funny you mentioned that. During CES, we were at, I think it's the bank in Bellagio, and we got in there before they really started getting going for the night, and we got a seat. I guess it was in the bottle service area, and the window we could see out to the fountains from the rear side, and it was unbelievable. I mean, if you ever had a chance to go there, I mean that's a great way to see that fountain show.
Yeah, and remember
that area is now called Hyde Bellagio.
Hyde. That's right. Okay.
Go.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I forget. I don't know. But it was beautiful over there, you know?
Yeah, and for first timers, like for me, when we went there because Marty actually surprised me with Valentine's date.
Oh, very nice.
In Vegas.
Not bad, huh, Chris?
Yes.
And the first time I saw Bellagio, oh my goodness, the fountain.
I know, that was amazing.
It was amazing, and it was really memorable.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Disneyland?
Not Disney. We're big Disney freaks. Not Disneyland, but Disney World. Okay. But we're dying to go to Disneyland. We haven't been out there yet.
In Disneyland, in California Adventure, just real quick, the World of Color show, that color show was done by the same company that did the Bellagio fountains.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow.
And they're called Wet Design.
Okay. Oh, that's the design firm that did the show.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's awesome.
I could see why, because that's a spectacular show in itself. I've never seen it live, but I've seen video of it, and it's incredible. We know that Vegas, obviously it's a great leisure destination, and we met you really on business. We were out there for CES, and I know you were a regular attendee as well.
Yes.
And it's a location for business conventions. In fact, the Las Vegas Convention Center, I think that's the only place in the world that CES could be held at, because that is such a huge show and that's such a huge venue and facility. Business travelers, what do they need to look out for when choosing a hotel? Do they need to look out for anything different than leisure travelers or what?
Well, they should definitely look out for something called resort fees.
Okay.
Oh.
And Caesars Entertainment just added a resort fee between $10 and $25.
Now, what is that? Now, what is when you say resort fee? What is that? It almost seems like you need to pay for the pool, but is it something different? Am I on the right track?
Well, each hotel system, Caesars and MGM, they have their own additions that the resort fee goes to. So you should probably look at that. They have it all laid out online, and you can see what amenities you get for that pricing. But it's not optional, so you'll have to pay above and beyond for that. And that just like a baggage fee on an airplane.
Okay, and that can add significantly, I think, to the price of the room per night, I would think.
Yeah, so just take a look, and the lowest price isn't always the best price because of these additional fees. So if you're looking for rock bottom pricing, maybe go to downtown, where most of those resort fees are not charged yet. Okay. Some of them have it, but do look at their website.
Well, that's good to know.
And another tip for both leisure and business travelers is when you get a taxi at the airport. There's something called long hauling, and that is illegal for them to do. So what they do is they take you the long way around to your hotel, and your fee for the taxi ride could be $50, $60, $70 when it should be half that price.
Wow. It's funny when you say we've been there. In fact, the last time we were down there for CES, I think it was CES and New Media Expo, the taxi line was huge. It was crazy,
And I have to say that the taxi drivers are great here. It's just some of them, for some reason, try to do the long haul. So if you mention to the taxi driver, I'm not into long hauling, please, they'll get the idea, and they won't do it.
Yeah, they know that you're already savvy to it.
That's right.
The thing I noticed is that two things. One, even though it was a long line, it was very organized. I mean, they had a section up there where they pulled up 10, 12 cabs at a time. They had a guy out there directing traffic. It was really well done. And second, when you fly into Las Vegas, people that haven't flown in there, it's literally, I'm talking literally right next to the Strip. You could go runway, fence, and the Luxor.
It's true.
And I always like, oh man, this is going to be a breeze going on in a cab. It's not, no time at all. But you forget that you have to kind of drive around and through, and it's like, wow, it's like it's bigger than you think, or farther than you think.
You mentioned long. It's called. I'm not into long haul. Is that what you said?
Correct. Okay. It's called long hauling.
Okay.
And you do not want that.
Okay, that's good.
Also, if you're a business traveler, you also want to consider where the golf course locations are, because a lot of business is done while golfing. You also want to consider where to take your clients to dinner, business centers inside of the hotel, and meeting spaces. So Venetian, Sands Convention, the Las Vegas Hotel all have convention space, very large convention space connected to each one.
Yeah, I remember going past the Sands on the monorail, and that place is huge, and that's one of the hotels, and it's a huge convention space in itself. Speaking of food, now for foodies out there, and you mentioned, and we know we've been out there a couple times. Las Vegas is excellent for food, and it runs the gamut from fast food all the way up to the best of restaurants in the world,
and a lot of buffets.
And a lot of buffets. In fact, I'm going to break this question up a little bit. Yeah. Now that you mentioned buffets, and this is getting to my, give me your top 3 restaurants you would recommend to travelers to Las Vegas, and after that, let's get into the buffets, because that's a whole nother animal right there.
It is. And actually, I'm going to run down a couple of restaurants.
Okay.
So there's Fleur by Hubert Keller. They have a tapas-style kind of dinner where it's small plates, and they have liquid nitrogen mixed cocktails and desserts that are made tableside. So that's very cool.
Oh, wow.
Carnivino is inside of the Palazzo. It's a steakhouse. Rob Report says it's the best place on earth to eat a steak. 240-day dry-aged ribeye.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
So that was in the hotel you were staying at.
Yes. How do we miss that place?
And then there's Haleo, which has a 10 to 12 course dinner, small teeny bites, no silverware. Max Brenner inside the Forum Shops. It's all about chocolate and cookies. So that's always fun.
Oh,
Max Brenner is my favorite ever for chocolate.
Oh, so you're a chocoholic, so you like chocolate. This is good, Chris. Keep going. I'm getting hungry.
And then we have Simon Restaurant. They have what's known as a pajama brunch. You can literally go from your room in your pajamas down to the brunch area and have Bloody Marys, cotton candy, chicken and waffles, and they have a junk food.
Oh, Chris, we got all right, chicken and waffles. Wait, we got to mark that down. We've been looking for chicken and waffles. I mean, we found it around here in Connecticut at the IHOP, but we don't really want to go to the IHOP for chicken and waffles. No, nothing against IHOP. But the only other place we know is in San Francisco, but we know it's in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes, at Simon Restaurant, and that's at Palm's Place.
Awesome.
Nice.
And then we have Lotus of Siam. It's an off-the-strip Thai restaurant. So it's very authentic, nice and spicy, like some people like it. Then there's Twist by Pierre Garnier at the Mandarin Oriental. So you take a very fast 23-story elevator ride up. And then it's this incredible view, 180-degree view of the Strip. And then further off to the side is Twist. It's a restaurant. It's very nice. I haven't personally been yet, but I've seen the views from there, and it's amazing.
Oh my
goodness. Prices range between $40 and $70 a plate there.
That's
so
good.
It's a little more expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And then you have Joel Robuchon, which is inside of the MGM Grand, and those plates can range from $100 to a couple $100. So that's, if you're a high roller, definitely go there. And then let's work on buffets. What would you like to know about
before
buffets?
you get into buffets, we're big sushi fans and sashimi fans. Is there any good sushi in Vegas? I just came to mind when I was speaking of food.
There's Sushi Samba inside of the Palazzo Shops, upstairs on the second level.
I'm glad I'm recording this because
I know.
There's a few others. Sushi is done very well in Las Vegas. You wouldn't think so since we're in the middle of the desert, but so many people want fresh sushi. We have it flown in from all around
That's
that
awesome.
day, so it's quite fresh.
Oh, excellent. Now, you mentioned buffets, and that's a whole nother thing in Vegas. I mean, that everyone has a buffet. When we were out there, we saw buffet deals. You can eat at like 10 different buffets for like $50. Give us the lowdown on buffets, because I know that's popular among people. We ate a couple of them, and especially when you're hungry, you just load up. So
there's a family buffet at the Excalibur, and they're part of the MGM Excalibur group. So what you want to do is look into their buffet deals that they have. Caesars Entertainment also has their own buffet deal. However, some of the buffets, when you get in that buffet deal, you have to pay extra per visit. So let's say you bought the buffet deal for nearly $50. You have to pay an additional fee each time you'd visit Bacchanal at Caesars, which is their new buffet, and I wrote about that on the Huffington Post.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So we can include a link to that review in your podcast.
Excellent.
But I would say the Wynn Las Vegas buffet and Bacchanal at Caesars are the top. They're probably tied for first. And then you have Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan, and they serve all of their foods in miniature plates. So it's almost like a tapas-style buffet. It's very different from anything else you've seen here in town. And then M Resort, which is super South Strip. It's like 12,000 South Las Vegas Boulevard. They have a very good buffet there as well.
That's awesome. It's making me hungry.
I'm hungry now. Oh my goodness. We're done for the rest of the show. It's like, see you guys.
Aria did a complete renovation on their buffet, but I have not visited that yet, so I'm not sure how that is. And if I haven't been, I don't want to recommend it.
Right.
So.
Excellent.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Now that we're all hungry, we want to be able to see a show.
Yes.
Because that's
what Vegas is known for: food and entertainment,
shows.
right? Obviously gambling too, but entertainment is a big item in Vegas. A lot of great shows, one of a kind shows there. A lot of headline acts, a lot of long-term acts play there. Your top 3 shows in Vegas.
Well, by Cirque du Soleil at Bellagio is incredible. I've seen it a couple times now, and each time it's amazing. I've also taken the tour behind the scenes, and they have something like that you can do as a leisure traveler if you want to see how they put the show together.
Oh, that must be amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's by Cirque du Soleil. Mystère, which is the longest running Cirque show in Las Vegas. That's at the Treasure Island, or TI. And if you're into the older type of Motown music, Jersey Boys.
Oh,
is a
okay.
fun show.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that. Yep.
Nice.
And then if you're a family visiting, you'll definitely want to look at a couple of different shows, like Terry Fader. He was America's, I believe, Got Talent winner. So he's our $100 million man here in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
For ventriloquism. But he also sings, and he's a very good singer.
Nice.
I think I've seen him when he won that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's pretty
I know
good.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but the Mac King comedy show is great for families and everybody.
Nice. Oh, excellent.
There's another question related to that. Like in New York, there are places wherein you can get half-price tickets for when you want to see a Broadway play. But how about in Vegas? Is there a place where people can get discounted tickets? And
there's multiple places.
Oh, okay.
The first is your concierge at the hotel. You always want to see what they have to offer. Next, if you're a high roller, check with your casino host. They usually have tickets available for their patrons. And then for everyone else, they do have half-price ticket areas. There's businesses called Tickets for Tonight. They have half-price tickets for shows, several attractions, and even dinner deals. So it's not just for shows here. There's half-price shows, Travel Zoo, Groupon, and then check your Living Social as well.
Is there a particular time that a person needs to, like, I know in New York, like, I remember when...
Yeah, they start lining up early in the day.
They line up at around...
It's same day tickets.
For the same day tickets, because the prices are really much cheaper. Yep. I think they start lining up in the afternoon around 1:30. Is there a particular time that, people need to be aware of?
We're a little more casual here in Las Vegas. So you can go up to maybe 2 to 3 hours before the show and still get a good deal on the tickets.
Oh, that's good to
but
know.
if you want the best tickets to the best shows, check to see what day they're dark. Obviously, you won't be able to get tickets then, but do show up before noon or 1 o'clock.
That's it.
And then you have to show up to the venue early as well to reserve the ticket. So sometimes they're not assigned seats.
Right.
When you buy the half-price ticket, you only get the assigned seat once you get to the show.
Ah, okay. I gotcha. Oh, that makes sense, you know. I know we mentioned a little bit about families. You mentioned a couple shows. Anything else you'd recommend? Because Vegas for a long time, you know, back in the day, it was obviously very adult-oriented, but I think they've made an effort over the past 10, 20 years, certainly, to make it more family-friendly in certain respects, kind of increase their market. And
they have.
So, you know, as far as families going out there, you know, what would you recommend as far as shows or activities that would be best for them?
Well, I recently visited the Shark Reef Aquarium at Mandalay Bay. It's North America's only predator-based aquarium.
Oh, wow.
So they have Komodo dragons in in there, alligators, and you can even see piranhas.
Oh, my goodness.
And those little suckers are fast. And then they have, at the Stratosphere, thrill rides.
Oh my goodness,
all
I
the way
saw
at the
that.
top.
See, I want to do that, but Misty won't
That's
won't do
scary.
that.
Have you tried
I'll watch
it?
you. I won't do it.
I won't do it too.
I want to do that, definitely. I want to hang off the side of the building.
I like the observation deck up there. You can see all of Las Vegas. There's also a little lounge and restaurant beneath the observation deck, so that's fun too. The Bellagio Fountains is great for everybody.
yes.
Yeah, that's great.
There's climbing and hiking in Red Rock Canyon, which is only 18 minutes outside of Las Vegas.
Okay.
There's, like I said, the Mac King Comedy Show, and that can be seen at Harrah's, Las Vegas. Blue Man Group, that's always a family favorite.
Yeah.
Adventure Dome inside of the Circus Hotel, and that is very modern, and it's for the entire family. There's plenty of space for lots of people there. There's M&M World on the Strip, and they have a half-price tickets booth right next to M&M World. So the family can go, you know, enjoy some time there, get some tickets, and then maybe go see a show after that. They have Madame Tussauds at the Venetian. That's the wax museum.
I
That's
love Madame Tussauds.
in a few cities around. Excalibur has a play zone for kids. It's called the Fun Dungeon. They also have a Dairy Queen there, so you can get your Blizzard on if you want.
Nice.
Roller coaster at the New York.
Oh, I saw that.
Titanic exhibit at the Luxor. The Titanic exhibit's amazing. It has a section of the Titanic inside.
Wow.
So you can actually see what was on the ocean floor.
Oh, my goodness.
It's incredible. And then Hoover Dam Tour. I've taken that a few times. What you do is you board a bus at one of the hotels earlier in the morning, and they bus you out there, and you take pictures outside. Some parts of it are closed off depending on threat level. So the Department of Homeland Security checks on, what the threat level is that day, and then decides where to let people around that Hoover Dam.
Excellent. Wow.
See?
Man,
So
I want to
we
do some of
asked
those.
that question.
I'm a big kid. You're a big kid, right? We're ready to go.
And then if you have a lot of money and you're super adventurous, Vegas does not disappoint. So there's a company called ZeroG. They do about 17 parabolic flights up and down, and you can be weightless for almost 7 minutes.
Wow.
And that is coming to Las Vegas June 8th and August 10th. Now, about with taxes, that costs around $5,500 per person.
Oh, man.
But you're weightless for almost 6 minutes total during those
Awesome,
17.
though. Plus, it's
up
an
and down.
experience, right?
It's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience because you have to have, that's a military type of deal. You have to be an astronaut or a special guest or special connection somehow.
Yes.
But so anybody can reserve and go on that if you have the cash, right?
If you have the cash, you can do almost anything here.
Oh, my
That's so
goodness.
true.
See, I'd do that. I don't know about you.
I
You
don't
would?
know.
I don't know.
I don't know
That sounds
either.
like fun.
See?
Yeah, what do you think, Wes? Would you do that?
I think the observation deck is about my speed at the Stratosphere.
No, there you go.
See, I think I can do the observation deck too. But
Yeah, we've been
not
on the
this-
Empire State Building, so that's
if
okay.
I'm just gonna look down, I'm
Yeah.
okay. But probably riding something and flying and being weightless, I'm not sure yet.
That looks pretty fun to me.
And then
so sign
cycling
me
back
up.
a little bit, you mentioned the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
They have driving adventures out there.
Oh,
Oh, is that like the Richard Petty? Because I know in Disney World they have the Richard Petty experience, and you can drive a NASCAR.
Oh, awesome.
There's several of those options out there. There's exotics racing. There's dream racing. There's several. So some of them have their own track, and some of them are on the Las Vegas Motor Speedway track.
Wow, that is fantastic.
And prices for that range from $200 to $800 or more, depending on how many cars you want to drive in a day.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. That's a great adventure.
Oh, yeah.
You. Yep.
Man, guess what? We're at almost 30 minutes.
Okay.
It's like I got my whole list of stuff now. Like next time we go to Vegas, I mean, we'll be set to go.
Yep.
My goodness. Let's wrap things up. Before we want to have you tell everybody where we can find you, Chris, online. Okay. But before we get there, just kind of wrap things up. Give us your top overall travel tips for experienced travelers or people that are just coming out there. I mean, you live out there. If you had to wrap it up, top 3 tips for people visiting Vegas, what would they be?
So the first thing to know is your budget. Know your budget and have multiple credit cards with you. Have a plan, maybe cash, in case the credit cards don't work.
Very good.
So if you're going to be spending a lot of money, call your credit card company ahead of time and let them know, hey, I'm going out of state or I'm traveling to Las Vegas and maybe you can increase my limit for the week that I'll be there. Mm-hmm. So that's one travel tip. The next one is, in case something happens, maybe you want to visit the dam or maybe you want to go to Red Rock. Renting a car is a good idea.
Oh, okay.
So you can get to most places with our bus system here, which is very good, or renting a car. So that's number 2. And then if you're a business traveler, which we get a lot of those, know that your expenses here are going to be a little less than if you're to travel most other places for business. So if you want to save money, take a look at coming here. There was a couple of conventions that were in California a couple years ago, but the fees were so high, they even considered moving it here, and they did, and they saved money. So as a business, you could save money here.
And what's great for business is you have a lot, if you haven't I know we've been to New Media Expo, and first time I went was when they had in Vegas in 2010 or 2011, I forget which, but then they moved it out to Los Angeles, and Misty went out there for the first time and didn't even compare. I mean, nothing against LA, but LA to Vegas as far as conventions and also the activities, level of.
Plus, I think the biggest disadvantage was like the hotels. Yeah. The hotels were so far from the convention center that people, instead of going to the parties, would rather not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have an event, I mean, used to work events back in the day. I mean, that city's just perfectly set up for it. And you're right. I mean, probably the competition, and I'm sure the gambling. Probably finances a lot of it, and they can be more competitive with their pricing. And they host so many events, but it's really well set up for that.
And you can have an event here with 75,000 people and almost not even know it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we were. I mean, first time for CES, we were there in January, and we all know the size of that show,
right?
And it's just unbelievable. I guess that's really the only place you can have it with that many hotel rooms and that size of a convention space. Yeah, we didn't even
have any problem booking a hotel.
No. Nope.
Because there were a lot of hotels available.
Absolutely. So Chris,
one quick tip, if you're looking to come for a convention, is take a look at the prices 3 months out, and then take a look at prices 2 months out, and then a month out. And usually you can save money by booking 1 month out. So the early bird is not always the winner when booking in Vegas.
That's interesting. Also, I would imagine you can probably hold something, and then change your reservations. I think most hotels will allow you to change without any charge, I would think,
Some of them, but you have to look at the fine print, of course.
Okay. Yeah. So, Chris, where can people? This has been fantastic, by the way. I mean, I know people are getting ready for vacations, and
both family.
Yeah.
Bringing their family along.
Yeah, or even planning for later in the year. I mean, and might not be familiar with what Vegas has to offer. And Chris, this has been tremendous. A lot of great information on food and shows and hotels and what to look out for. If people want to find you, Chris, online, where should they go?
Well, my lower third has the @24K at 24K Media on Twitter and Instagram. I also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/24K Media. You can find me and circle me on Google+, gplus.to/celebrity. I just picked that as a fun word.
Nice.
Then you can also see my videos about Las Vegas and travels all over the world. youtube.com/SEO marketing.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Very
Plus,
good.
for our listeners, we'll make sure that we'll include all of what he said in the show notes, so that it'll be
Easy reference.
easy for them to find Chris.
Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on with us on PodJam TV Live, and we'd love to have you back again. I know you're into other things as well that people might find interesting and surprising, and I think we're going to be doing some more with you, hopefully. And but we'll save that. We'll kind of leave that as a tease, like a little open-ended tease for people. But Chris, you've been tremendous. Thank you very much for coming on with us, and we'll obviously have you on again and talk about Vegas and other topics.
Misty and Marty, thank you so much for having me on your show today.
Wow, what a great interview with Chris. Knows a lot about Vegas. He lives there. A lot about the food in Vegas, which is legendary. All about hotels.
And I love all the tips that he gave, especially the ones that will help our audience. And
whether you're new
us,
to Vegas or been out there a
save
few
money.
times. Yeah. Yeah. And I love the tip about the taxis.
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, that's something to watch out for. But certainly local like Chris, he knows about that stuff, So.
And I love that he also gave us tips about the activities that families can now do in Vegas. Because I know, like for me, I thought that Vegas was just a place to gamble and party. But, you can bring your families, even your kids, and there are a lot of family activities that they can do together.
And even outside of Vegas, Hoover Dam and some of those other activities, it's a great time. So great. So check out Chris online at 24K on Twitter, 24K Media.
And you can, for those listening to us, just check the show notes. We've included all the links to where you can find Chris.
Absolutely. So before we go, we do want to mention now a lot of the content we get for Inspiring Connections come from a live web show that we do every Sunday night, live video show.
That's
using Google
8:30
Hangouts,
p.m.
8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We use the hashtag PTV Live, wherein people can just follow that on Twitter every Sundays, 8:30 p.m.
So we're on most Sundays. Not every Sunday if we're traveling. We don't do a show. But a lot of the content for this podcast comes from that live Sunday night show. So if you're around Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time,
please
check us out. It's a great. Since we're live, it's a great way to kind of interact.
Get your questions answered.
Absolutely. Yeah. So before we go, we want to recognize our sponsor, furrysketches.com. Now that's a project near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, it's a place wherein people can get inspiration and also where they can get custom hand-drawn pet portrait.
Now all they have to do is send them a clear photograph of their pet.
And also fill in the information on furrysketches.com/order and we'll send
dogs, cats, birds. You just did a bird, right? And who knows what else we're gonna get?
Yeah,
But I think you'll take on any challenge, any pet. So if you'd like a portrait of your pet, nice hand-drawn portrait, check out furrysketches.com. I think that'll do it. For another Inspiring Connections. We will see you next time.
Go.